Hey MCE crew, I hope your day is progressing profitably. I'm out here on our property doing some work and it is hot. There are storm clouds and thunder off in the distance, so I'm probably going to be taking a break here soon. I want to talk to you today about how the federal government and the state governments have broken the economy. You've heard the old adage, you break it, you buy it. Well, we're really not in a position where they can even do that, okay? So let's talk about how the government has broken our economy and what we as individuals need to do about it. Because let me make you understand something that you probably are already well aware of. The government, they don't care about you, okay? They really don't. Now, again, I will make the distinction. I love the country. I've traveled, okay? There's no other country I'd rather be in. And if you feel differently, that's fine. More power to you. I love the country, but the government leaves a lot to be desired. And they have broken this economy. Now, we can debate all day long whether or not the shutdowns were warranted, whether that whole thing should have been prosecuted a little differently. This is a financial channel, so we're not going to get into that. We're just going to deal with what is. They did shut down the economies. The states did. They had the purview over that because, you know, that was a decision made by governors. And they did it. And it has caused a cascade of issues that we're going to be dealing with now for maybe the better part of a decade or longer. Let's talk about the eviction moratoriums. Now, the federal eviction moratorium is done July 31st. California, they have extended theirs to September 31st or 30th. I don't really know if September has 31 days or not. In any event, did you know that even if you got covered under that moratorium and you didn't have to pay your rent for a period of time due to the events of 2020, you're still responsible for that rent? Now, some of the states have some kinds of programs and whatnot. You got to apply, you got to go through, see if you can get the money. But ultimately, you're still responsible for that rent. And I read one story of a lady in California who owes about, and I read this last month, so it's more now. At that point, she owed about $10,000 in rent, back rent. Now, if she can't pay that, because the lady did say she was unemployed throughout this whole thing. She was also getting unemployment benefits. If she can't pay that, then that's going to not only put her in a very precarious situation where she could be looking for housing. God forbid she becomes homeless. Because you know California, that liberal bastion, they have a very troubling and growing homeless crisis. In any event, to the extent people cannot pay this back rent, you might hit a thunder now. To the extent people can't pay this back rent, that's going to cause problems for the people who hold those mortgages on those homes, okay? And the media is trying to paint this optimistic picture about, well, you know, a lot of people that were in forbearance are coming out of it successfully. They're paying their mortgage and they're getting out of it. But what I can't find is any data or news reports saying that, well, what about the cascade effect? What about what happens when all of these eviction moratoriums end, people are expected to pay back rent and they cannot do it? Okay, what happens to them? What happens to the property owner at that point? Are we looking at mass evictions, homelessness, mass foreclosures in that instance? Okay, prime example of how the government broke it. But when we talk about the government buying it, that would mean that the government would have to come out of its pocket, which is our pocket as taxpayer, in order to alleviate the situation. Now, if that was done, it's going to cause more inflation. We're already facing massive inflation. It's also going to cause higher taxes, the two most detrimental things that can happen to your ability to build wealth. They broke this economy and they have no idea how to fix it. They went in and they broke the economy. They did something absolutely unprecedented in terms of shutting off the levers of economic action in this country. And now they are relying on all of the old conventional tricks like quantitative easing, like, the stimulus. They're relying on that stuff when we're in a whole new paradigm, okay? If you're under one of these foreclosure moratoriums, or eviction moratoriums. I hope you've been putting away money to the extent that you can. What you need to do is you need to get with your mortgage service provider or your state find out what alternatives exist for you. You need to get in line now, okay? You need to exploit that opportunity to alleviate your situation with the help of any programs that are out there. And yeah, you know what? Don't be ashamed of that. You didn't cause this. Your governor did. All right? Okay, guys, I don't know if you can see that thundercloud in back of me, but you might hear the thunder here soon. Hey, the other thing I want to talk about, we've got a viewer, Brian, who's actually a friend of mine. Brian and I were having a discussion about what is financial independence. You know, we talk about it on the channel all the time. What is financial independence? Well, the definition varies. I'll give you an example. I have a brother who is a real outdoorsman. He's not rich. He doesn't make a lot of money, okay? But this guy's free. Sometimes I've woken up on a Saturday morning, I've smelled like meat cooking. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's my brother. He's been in my property, camped out. He just came off of a big camping trip a couple of weeks ago. This guy can drop a line in a Home Depot bucket and come out with a fish, okay? And he loves that lifestyle, loves it. He's got property that is in the middle of nowhere, and that's his retreat. He could live there for the rest of his life and be very happy, be ecstatic. So he enjoys a definition of financial freedom. Now, for others, the definition may be different. You have to decide what the number is. It's got to be a number. Okay, and when you do the math, you're going to quickly find out that America has been sold a bill of goods because, sorry about the lighting, but America's been sold a bill of goods when we talk about that 65-year-old retirement age. Retirement is not an age. In fact, the word retirement is a corporate word. It's what they do to machinery or any other kind of capital equipment that no longer has a use, okay? So retirement is not an age. Retirement is a number. If you're working somewhere or if you have a business, you got to figure out what your number is. And that number is a dollar amount, okay? A dollar amount that can be used for principal that's going to kick off an income for you. Anything else is going to be just a nod to corporate America. Hear that thunder? I'm going to get out of the field here in a second. But corporate America wants you to think in terms of an age because then you're in line with their thinking about moving on out of their company after you've reached top pay. Okay? All right, so don't fall for that okey doke. Financial independence is a dollar amount. It's also a mindset. If you can live in a cabin in the middle of nowhere and fish and hunt and do your thing and be happy, do your thing. If you need a little bit more than that, that's fine too, okay? One of my aspirations is to become not a full-time sailor, but to sail for much of the year, okay? My wife and I want to do that. And sailboats cost money. So, there you go. Let me move out of the way here. And see if you can get a better view of that thundercloud that's coming. It's beautiful, actually. Okay, guys, it has cooled down tremendously out here because I wish you could see these clouds. Anyway, I was in Dunkin' Donuts getting me my staple, large butter pecan iced latte. Lady comes in and she says, hey, got anything low carb? Lady, you are in a donut shop. Anyway, I hope she got something low carb. Last thing I want to cover, guys, is the 26 states ending their unemployment, their extended unemployment benefits. So you're on your own, okay? Eviction moratoriums ending. The moratorium on foreclosures ending. We've got unemployment benefits ending. We do still have the child tax credit out there. We talked about that, but that's a temporary thing, and it's only for people with children that meet a certain criteria. So the gravy train, I'm not even going to call it a gravy train, because this is stuff that people did not, the citizenry did not cause this. This is caused by knee-jerk governors, okay? And I think our governor here, he's on his last term as governor. I'm not even going to dignify him by mentioning his name, but he has other political aspirations. I'll be sure not to vote for him. They destroyed the economy, and they've left us to pick up the pieces. So what do you need to do? We talked about building a business. And I know to some that might sound like, hey, man, look, I'm in a situation where I'm staring down a barrel of foreclosure or eviction. I've been homeless, okay, so I can definitely empathize. I was homeless when I was young, when I was in college for a hot minute, but I have experienced that, okay, so it's not like I'm talking outside of my experience. You break it, you buy it. The government broke it, they're not in a position to buy it, okay? We're already well over $30 trillion in debt. They're going to cause massive inflation to continue. If we print up more money, that's going to erode the value of the dollars that are, in your hand, in your pocketbook. And of course, they're going to come at you from the other end and raise taxes once they do that. So they're not even in a position to buy. We want them to stop buying, okay? You need to start a business. Again, I always say, if you have any entrepreneurial leanings, you need to go ahead and pull that trigger, because you have much more control over your financial destiny when you own your own business. Also, there's an unlimited income potential inherent. Notice I said potential. There are no guarantees in this world, okay? If you do not want to own a business, that's fine too. I'm just expressing my opinion here. I don't know you personally. I'm just telling you how the world looks from my vantage point. If you don't own a business, you're going to need to keep your skill set sharp and keep moving and maneuvering. You're going to have to be a moving target, because there are no guarantees in this world. There definitely aren't any when you work for someone else. I worked for Verizon. The company had over 200,000 people working there when I was there, and I was a number, okay, on a balance sheet. And if somebody had made the decision to say, hey, look, we need to get rid of this number in order for us to profit, then I would have been gone, okay? Thank God I was able to come out under my own plan. Look, the unemployment benefits that the federal government was subsidizing the states with, that's about to end, and 26 state governments have already gone ahead and ended it, all right? So you're on your own. You're on your own. Government is not coming to the rescue. They do a great job of effing up. And they have definitely done that in this situation. Don't believe a word they say, okay? Remember, Ben Bernanke was out there back in 2007 saying the housing market didn't have anything to worry about, okay? He knew different, all right? He just didn't want to panic the markets, because he has to go to the club with his buddies who are making a lot of money on Wall Street, and he doesn't want to, negatively affect them. Trust me, I don't care what they say. That's what goes on, all right? So look into starting a business. We're actually going to do a lot here in the coming weeks about businesses and talking to you about how to start a business generally, okay? I don't know what industry that you want to be in, but we're going to go over some generalities and help you understand how to move forward in that vein if that's what you want to do. Okay, guys, so I'm going to wait for the storm. I'm going to go back to the house, wait for the storm, and hopefully I can get back to work later on this afternoon. I will talk to you soon.